from us to blow our own horn, but at Airchime Manufacturing in Burnaby, that's what they do for a living. Good evening and welcome to Red's Classic Theater. Whenever you hear the piercing tones of a diesel locomotive, think of Airchime Manufacturing. With nearly 75% of the North American market, chances are the horn you're hearing came from Airchime Manufacturing. We'll take a look around the operation throughout the program. Our movie this week is Von Ryan's Express, starring Frank Sinatra and Trevor Howard. Sinatra was between wives during the filming of the picture, but a young girl hung around his stage door, and she'd soon change his mind. Within a year of completing Von Ryan's Express, Old Blue Eyes would make Mia Farrow the third Mrs. Sinatra. More on Frank Sinatra a little later on, and a chance for you to win tickets to Robin Williams' new movie, Toys. But right now, here's Act One of Von Ryan's Express. We're at Airchime Manufacturing this week, where air horns for train locomotives, ships, and industrial uses are made. Company founder Bob Swanson horned in on the business in the late 1940s by inventing the modern-day train whistle. Now here is a vintage train steam whistle. It was replaced by this multi-toned air horn invented by Bob Swanson. Now here are the updated versions in use today. A modern freight locomotive uses a 3-horn setup, while a passenger locomotive uses 5. And that's how you can tell the difference between the two. Now, the actual casting of the horns is done off-site, but everything else, including painting, is done right here at Airchime's Burnaby location. And the testing of the horns is actually done right here on site. And we'll have more about that in just a moment. The folks at Airchime Manufacturing have set up a train whistle in this sound chamber to show us how the testing is done. The room itself is covered inside with sound-deadening fiberglass baffles. The walls are made of cinder blocks filled with sand, and the 1-foot-thick door is filled with insulation. With the door closed, the sound is equivalent to what you would hear at a distance of half a mile. And the results are recorded and checked on the company's 3 sets of sound testing equipment. And now back to Von Ryan's Express on Red's Classic Theater. Hope you're enjoying Von Ryan's Express on Red's Classic Theater. We're at Airchime Manufacturing in Burnaby. Much of tonight's movie was filmed on location in Europe. While in Rome, Frank Sinatra refused to stay in town, recalling an incident years earlier when an audience in Rome had booed him. He was so determined to avoid the Italian paparazzi that he forced 20th Century Fox to hire him a helicopter to take him to the film location in the Italian Alps on a daily basis. On the set, the tension between Sinatra and director Mark Robson was excruciating, to say the least. Sinatra demanded that his scenes be filmed in order. Well, Robson had no intention of doing that, but Frank kept up the pressure. Well, the inevitable blow-up occurred, and Frank Sinatra stormed off the set. But instead of getting angry, Robson rewarded Frank Sinatra by putting a yacht at his disposal for a 10-day cruise. Well, that's Hollywood for you. By the way, stay tuned in our mailbag segment. You can win tickets to Robin Williams' new movie, Toys. And now let's return to Von Ryan's Express. From the test chamber here at Airchime Manufacturing in Burnaby, it's time for our mailbag movie pass giveaway. It's your chance to be eligible to win one of 40 double passes to Robin Williams' new movie, Toys. Television 12 will be hosting the premiere on December 16th, along with the Vancouver Province and Rock 101 CFMI. Now, if you'd like to join us, send your name, address, and phone number to Toys in care of Television 12 Vancouver. That's Toys, Television 12 Vancouver. Winners will be notified by phone. And now let's return to our movie tonight, Von Ryan's Express on Red's Classic Theater. We're featuring Von Ryan's Express on Red's Classic Theater as we visit Airchime Manufacturing in Burnaby. Trevor Howard's role in tonight's film led to an invitation to appear in a Marlon Brando movie being shot at the same time. Marlon Brando offered Trevor Howard a huge amount of money to appear in his film. At the time, Marlon Brando was suing the Saturday Evening Post over an article, and he needed Trevor Howard's appearance in the film to make his case. The magazine had stated that Brando's behavior during the filming of Mutiny on the Bounty in 1962 had been so bad that no British actor of any stature would ever work with him again. And it's interesting to note here that Howard had co-starred with Brando in Mutiny on the Bounty. Well, Howard accepted the role but had very little time to enjoy his windfall. It seems that shortly after, Howard was at a party inebriated and smashed up 4 of the guests' cars. and all the money he made from the movie went to pay for the repairs. By the way, can you name the movie we're talking about? That's our movie trivia quiz coming up later in the show. Right now, let's get back to Von Ryan's Express. From Airchime Manufacturing in Burnaby, it's time for our movie trivia quiz. In our last segment, we mentioned a 1965 movie that Marlon Brando was desperate to have Trevor Howard appear in. Can you name that movie? We'll be back with the answer in just a moment. Here's the answer to our trivia quiz. The 1965 movie that starred Marlon Brando and Trevor Howard was The Saboteur, codename Morituri. It was a war movie about a German who helps the British capture a Nazi cargo ship. And now back to Von Ryan's Express. From Airchime Manufacturing in Burnaby, that concludes this week's edition of Red's Classic Theater. I hope you enjoyed Von Ryan's Express starring Frank Sinatra and Trevor Howard. Be sure to join us next Sunday night on Red's Classic Theater when David Niven plays the role of a gentleman thief in Raffles. It also stars Olivia de Havilland. In the meantime, if you have a motion picture you'd like to see or the suggestion of a location, write to Red Robinson, Television 12 in Vancouver. We love hearing from you. And we'd like to thank Bob Swanson, Bill Challenger, and Shirley Irwin here at Airchime Manufacturing in Burnaby for hosting our show this week. It's been a blast. And join us next Sunday on Red's Classic Theater for Raffles starring David Niven. Until then, thank you for being with us, and good night, everybody.